Hello, my name is Cam, and today I'm going to be doing a Edge of Eternities common draft review. So in this video, I'm going to be picking out 4 cards from each color, specifically in the common slot, and then I'm going to be ranking them in top 1 to 3. And I've also chosen a pet card within each color as well, of just a mechanic that I like or something that I think that I will personally play, even if it's not as good as some other things, just because it'll be a little bit more enjoyable for me. But yeah, that's going to be the general setup in the video, and I suppose let's jump right into it. So, let's start with white commons. For my number 3 pick in white, I'm going to be choosing Auxiliary Boosters. Auxiliary Boosters is a 5 mana, 4 colorless, 1 white artifact equipment with an ETB of creating a 2/2 robot and equipping this equipment to it. This equipment gives +1/+2 flying and has an equip cost of 3. Overall, I'm super excited for this card in draft. Equipment in draft is generally pretty okay, just due to the lack of stats on creatures sometimes, and also just the slowness of games. And boosters is really sticking out to me, not only due to the fact that it's giving you 2 artifacts on cast, as well as creature, but also due to the fact that this thing gives flying. Super, super good, super exciting. I feel that boosters is really going to break parity on some games, especially just when you need a little bit more oomph to kind of just close it out. Overall, super excited, and that's why boosters is my top 3 pick. For my number 2 pick in white, I've got Dockworker Drone. Dockworker Drone is a 2 mana, 1 colorless, 1 white, 1/1 artifact creature that has an ETB of putting a 1/1 counter on itself. Then, when this creature dies, it takes all the counters it has on it and puts them onto another creature you control. Sadly, there's no weird tech of putting it onto an opponent's and there being some kind of stat threshold that you meet by doing that. But overall, I am really excited for this card. This card is tapping into a lot of the themes that are present within this set, that being artifacts, hey, that's crazy, we're seeing another one, and 1/1 counters. So Dockworker is going to work great in decks that just want to trade it off right away and get a really powerful 3-drop to just keep barreling down the like speedy kind of, I don't know, avenue of this game, or the decks that just want to kind of keep it around and buff it up a couple times with some of the cards throughout this set, and then eventually once they trade it off, they're just going to get an absolute bomb to just obliterate anything that your opponent could ever want to do. Overall, I'm really excited to play this card. It'll be great, like I was saying, in fast decks and slow decks, and yeah, that's why it is my number 2 pick. Then, for my number 1 pick in white, I've got Lux Knight Breacher. Lux Knight Breacher is a 4 mana, 3 colorless, 1 white, 2/2 creature that when it enters the battlefield, it gains a +1 counter for each other creature and or artifact you control. And or is just absolutely what's pushing this card over the edge here, due to the fact that all of those other creatures that we were talking about, all those artifact creatures, is giving this thing +2/+2. There are a ton of robots in this set, there are a ton of artifacts in this set, and this guy is just going to help every single one of those decks just absolutely win. This guy looks crazy, this guy looks amazing. Dropping this on turn 4, even with just playing maybe like a 2-drop and a 3-drop, at minimum is making this guy a 4/4. So 4/4, 4 mana for a 4/4, it's pretty good. But if any of those things is an artifact creature, this guy's a 5/5. If both of them, it's a 6/6. This thing is going to be crazy, giving this trample, buffing this up even more after the fact that it's even ETB'd. I don't know. This guy is going to be amazing. Super excited, tapping into a lot of good themes, swarming, artifacts, like, it's going to be great. Absolutely love this card. Lux Knight Breacher is my number 1 choice for white commons. For my pet pick in white commons, I'm going to be picking Starport Security. Starport Security is a 1 white, 1/1 artifact creature, and it has an activated ability with 3 mana and 1 white tap to tap another target creature. This ability costs 2 less to activate if you control a creature with a 1/1 counter on it. Overall, when I play white, I love playing tappers. This guy is exactly that. But also he has a little bit of nuance to him, just due to the fact that to make this like, kind of like feasibly viable, you really do need a creature with a 1/1 counter on it. So it'll take a little bit of finagling to kind of just put into a deck. It's not just like in the past where you can kind of just put the tap card on any deck. But overall, it'll be great. I love the tappers. Slows down the game, makes it so I can play a really big card at the end. Super excited for it. This will be great. This is my pet card. For my number 3 pick in blue, I've chosen Ilvoy Lightjammer. This is a 2 mana, 1 blue, 1 colorless artifact equipment with flash, and it has an ETB of when this equipment enters, attach it to target creature you control. That creature gains hexproof until end of turn. It has an equipped buff of +1/+2, and it has an equip cost of 3. Overall, I'm really excited to play with this artifact. Equipment is just generally really good in draft, like I've spoken about before, and getting like a little bit of a 2v1 for kind of countering someone's spell and buffing up probably your best creature or your only creature is always going to be really good. If somebody tries to do it to you in combat, if somebody just tries to do you flat out, you can just say, no, it's basically a counter spell, but it buffs up your creature a little bit. Overall, super excited for it. It'll be fun to play. It's pretty good. Yeah. Oh, and also it being an artifact is never a bad thing. For my number 2 pick in blue, I've chosen Selfcraft Mechan. This is a 4 mana, 3 colorless, 1 blue artifact creature with a stat line of 3/4. It has an ETB of when this creature enters the battlefield, you may sacrifice an artifact, and when you do, you can put a 1/1 counter on target creature and draw a card. So I spoke correctly. This only says target creature, meaning that you don't have to buff up Selfcraft, you don't have to buff up even your own creatures, if once again there's one of those weird thresholds where you'd need your opponent's creature to be so big. And not only that, but you get a buff up of a creature and you get to recycle a card. So let's say you played, I don't know, something that gave you a lander, and then don't really need any land right now. So play your Selfcraft on 4, sacrifice your lander, buff up your creature, and just draw a new card for free. Overall, really excited to play it. Got good types, and yeah, this should be a great card. For my number 1 pick in blue, I've chosen Nanoform Sentinel. This is a 3 mana, 2 colorless, 1 blue artifact creature. It has a 3/2 stat line, and says whenever this creature becomes tapped, untap another target permanent. This ability triggers only once each turn. Overall, this thing looks awesome. I'm excited to play with it. It has a great effect. The body's fine. It'll possibly trade up, but I wouldn't really want to trade this away. It has a great effect. And then let's hop right into it. So it says untap another target permanent. So this thing has pseudo-vigilance if you need it to have vigilance. Another creature you control can have vigilance if you need that to have vigilance. You can untap your lands to put up mana if you would need to play something after, playing your card for turn. You can even ramp yourself up during combat if you have only 4 lands the turn after you play this and need to cast an instant for 5. Like, this guy is going to be awesome. If for whatever reason you would need to untap something your opponents control, you can do that as well. This card is going to be so much fun to play. I'm very excited to use it. It will be very good. For my pet pick in blue, I've chosen Ilvoy Operative. This is a 2 mana, 1 colorless, 1 blue, 2/1 creature that has the effect whenever you cast your second spell each turn, put a 1/1 counter on this creature. Overall, I absolutely love this guy. He'll be fun to play, specifically in the sense that I really like to kind of like Spellslinger and do some fun stuff with that. And also there does seem to be some like multicasting synergy within blue within this set. But another great guy, another great thing that's kind of helping out this card specifically is Warp, because Warp itself is a cast. So this guy can find some kind of low-costed warp and then play a normal spell for the turn, and then the next turn you can unwarp and play a cheap spell, and then the cycle can continue. So it's not really that you're going to be throwing away all your cards really fast, but this guy seems like he'll be a good value engine. So that's why he's my pet pick. It'll be fun to play. For my number 3 pick in black, I've chosen Hole Carver. Hole Carver is a 1 black mana, 1/1 artifact creature that has Death Touch. Overall, really simple card, pretty good card as well. There are a couple things that give first strike in this set, but generally, artifacts are good, Death Touch 1/1s are good, they can trade up. You know, the Death Touch card is in black this time. Overall, I'm generally excited for it, so yeah, should be good. And now, for my number 2 pick in black, I have chosen Graveblade Heavy. Graveblade Heavy is a 4 mana, 3 colorless, 1 black creature that is a 3/4 body and has the effect, as long as you control an artifact, this creature gets +1/+0 and has Death Touch. Overall, this is a pretty basic card. Not too much to say about it other than it has a pretty good body for 4 mana, as well as you're always going to have an artifact in this set. So this is basically just a 4/4 with Death Touch. It'll be great, kind of like I was saying with Hole Carver. There are a couple things that can give first strike in this set. And yeah, overall, it'll just be something that I'll be happy to play on turn 4. For my number 1 pick in black, I have chosen Beamsaw Prospector. Beamsaw Prospector is a 2 mana, 1 colorless, 1 black, 2/1 creature that has the effect, when this creature dies, create a lander token. Overall, this guy is awesome. You're going to want him to die. You want him to trade into things. He's a great blocker. He can swing in for 2 if they're not playing fast enough for you. And when he dies, you get an artifact out of it. Everything synergizes with artifacts. Getting an extra land can be great fixing, especially when there's fixing in black and not green. But overall, this guy is going to be awesome. He's going to help you do a bunch of colors. He's going to help you tri-color. He's going to help you do whatever you want. And on top of that, he's just a great 2-drop. For my pet pick in black, I have chosen Virus Beetle. Virus Beetle is a 2 mana, 1 colorless, 1 black, 1/1 artifact creature that has the effect, when this creature enters the battlefield, each opponent discards a card. So, I don't know exactly why I enjoy these kinds of effects, but they're normally in draft, and of course they're normally in black. So, how I kind of like to frame these things is you are putting down a less than spectacular 1 or 2 mana drop, right? And then your opponent is going to discard their worst card in their hand, meaning that you're putting down, yes, a pretty bad card, but at the same time, you're kind of getting value out of that card based on the fact that they're getting rid of a card from their hand and they're not getting any value from it just because it goes directly to graveyard, whereas the fact is you get at least something on the battlefield. Overall, it's not like something that you should base your entire strategy off of. You know, you're not going to discard your opponent's entire hand using nothing but Virus Beetles. But I kind of find it gimmicky, I kind of find it fun, and on top of it, it's an artifact, so a little bit of artifact synergy, a little bit of jank, I don't know. Do what you want with it. This is going to be my pet pick. For my number 3 pick in red, I have chosen Caveron Skywarden. Caveron Skywarden is a 5 mana, 4 colorless, 1 red, 4/5 creature with reach. It also has the Void ability that states, at the beginning of your end step, if a non-land permanent left the battlefield this turn or a spell was warped this turn, put a 1/1 counter on this creature. Overall, this guy is big. He's a 5 mana card, he's got big stats, and he's got a great keyword reach to help deal with all of the pesky flyers. Not to mention, he also has 4 attack. This is a huge breakpoint in this set. Practically everything 4 mana or less, the biggest health that they are going to have is 4. This guy is going to be able to trade or even kill so many things that it's just going to be insane. And on top of that, he's going to grow bigger while doing it. This guy is going to be great plopping down late game. It's going to require a removal spell. It's going to require something other than just normal combat, because this guy is going to be able to deal with anything that your opponents can throw at you. Overall, very excited to play this card. For my number 2 pick in red, I have chosen Zookeeper Mechan. Zookeeper Mechan is a 2 mana, 1 colorless, 1 red artifact creature that has a 1/3 stat line and has 2 effects, one of which is tap this card, add 1 red mana, and the other effect is 7 mana, 6 colorless, 1 red. Target creature you control gets +4/+0 until end of turn. Activate only as a sorcery. This card has so much utility on it. It has adding a mana, so it's ramping you in red. Amazing. It's buffing up your creatures. Mind you, it is a lot of mana, but buffing up your creatures to make a trade more favorable for you in a board state where everything is kind of like stalling out, great. Spend all your mana, cause some chaos. It's what red does. That's awesome. And then on top of all of that, it's an artifact, and it has 3 toughness as a 2-drop. This is trading into, well, not trading, but bouncing off anything that your opponent wants to swing at you with. And on top of that, at the end of the day, you can just trade it off. It's a 2-mana card. Like, of course, it has some value on it, but this guy is awesome if he's left on the board, and he's a great body to block with early in the game if you're trying to get to late game as well. He's good early, he's good late. This guy is awesome. Love it. Zookeeper Mechan. For my number 1 pick in red, I have chosen Oreplate Pangolin. Oreplate Pangolin is a 2-mana, 1 colorless, 1 red, 2/2 artifact creature that has the effect whenever another artifact you control enters the battlefield, you may pay 1 colorless. If you do, put a 1/1 counter on this creature. A big part of draft is getting a ton of value out of your early game plays because that's your first impact on the game. You want your first impact to be huge, you want it to be explosive, you want your opponent to throw everything they can at it and for everything to fail. And this guy is doing exactly that for you. Not only is this a 2-mana 2/2, that's fine, it'll trade into some things, that's great, but if you play an artifact, or maybe even another 2-drop next turn, pay 1 mana, buff it. 3/3, love it. You know, get 2 artifacts entering a turn, paying 2 mana into it. This thing gets so incredibly big. During pre-release, I played Gruul Landers, I played Naya Landers, and I had this guy at an 8/8 and a 7/7 normally. This thing is crazy. I absolutely love this thing. I'm going to be playing this and spamming this as much as I can. There are endless amounts of artifacts in this set, and I highly recommend you look at this guy because he is great. Overall, 10 out of 10. Love him. He's awesome. Pick him up as much as you can. Great card. For my pet pick in red, I have chosen Slag Drill Scrapper. This is a 1 red, 1/2 artifact creature with the effect, pay 2 colorless and tap. Sacrifice another artifact or land, draw a card. Overall, I really enjoy the idea of sacrificing your lands for value late game. You know, the game draws out to like 10, 11, 12 mana. You don't want to see all of that mana on the board, you know, unless you have something like a Zookeeper Mechan. But if you have no mana sinks, you love to see this card because out of nowhere, you're tapping 2 mana, sacrificing one of the tap manas that you just tapped, drawing a new card, and of course probably playing a mana as well, you know, because you just drew a land after you sacked a land. But I digress. Overall, I enjoy these kind of effects. It can also hit artifacts too, which there are a ton of. Cards like these are awesome. I love having them. Definitely look for this guy. He'll be good in your late game decks. Love it. For my number 3 pick in green, I'm choosing Skystinger. Skystinger is a 3 mana, 2 colorless, 1 green, 3/3 creature with reach, and the ability, whenever this creature blocks a creature with flying, this creature gets +5/+0 until end of turn. Overall, the stats on this guy are pretty good. 3/3 for 3 is never a bad thing, but where he kind of shines, obviously, is when he's blocking flyers, when he's using his reach ability. This guy is a little bit more techy, so it's not something that I would instantly jump on unless you absolutely know you're playing against some people that are drafting only flyers. Overall, he seems okay. Slide him in when you're playing against some really annoying flyers. He'll shut down any spacecraft that you ever come in contact with. And yeah, overall, pretty good card. Number 3 slot. For my number 2 spot in green, I have chosen Galactic Wayfarer. This is a 3 mana, 2 colorless, 1 green, 3/3 creature with an enters the battlefield ability of creating a lander. Really basic card, Stats for 3, 3, you know, not bad, nothing insane. Good ETB makes you an artifact. Truly nothing more to say than that. Helps you in green find all the colors if you're running tricolor, which I really can not say enough how possible it is in this set to do that, especially with all of these landers. Yeah, he's just generally promoting good green ideas and giving you artifacts for any other color that you're splashing into. So overall, great card, easy stats, good ability. Yeah, love it. For my number 1 pick in green, I have chosen Thawbringer. Thawbringer is a 3 mana, 2 colorless, 1 green, 4/2 with an enters the battlefield ability of Surveilling 1 and a death ability of Surveilling 1. Alright, main reason I'm choosing this guy for my number 1 in green is solely due to the fact that 4 is a huge breakpoint in this set. 4 toughness, so many cards have, and so many cards have that are way higher statted than, or sorry, costed than Thawbringer. So the fact that this guy is swing for 4 on a 3 mana payment is incredible. And on top of that, he has a little effect when he trades off too. Like, I don't know what more you can ask for. This thing's trading into 4 drops, this thing's trading into 5 drops, and you're okay when he's dying too. This is great. This is the cheapest 4 attack power besides like Death Touch or something like that in the set, and it's in common. Pick this guy up. He will trade into everything. He will protect your board. He's awesome. I love Thawbringer. For my pet pick in green, I have chosen Fungal Colossus. This is a 7 mana, 6 colorless, 1 green, 5/5 with the ability. This spell costs X less to cast, where X is the number of differently named lands you control. Alright, there are a couple of cards in this set that care about differently named lands. And of course, in the set where this is the case, there are no dual lands. I mean, of course, besides your shocks. But I am so upset that they put such a fun ability in this set and don't have any dual lands to go with it. This guy is so fun. He reminds me of a Hearthstone card, actually. I think its name was like Corridor Creeper or Catacomb Creeper or something like that. Anyway, he's reducing his cost as you're doing things that are generally good in the game. Such a good effect. And on top of that, if you're playing tricolor and you have anything that gives you a mana, you can play this guy on turn 4 with 3 different named lands. It is so insane. I pull it off in pre-release twice. Mecha Zookeeper is amazing, and you just plop him down on 2, plop this guy down on 3, and from there, they're either scrambling to catch back up or the game's already over. This guy is so much fun. I love this effect so much. I just wish there were some dual lands in the common slot. And for our only common land in the set besides basics, we've got Command Bridge. Command Bridge is a land that enters tapped, and like Murders at Karlov Manor, when this land enters, sacrifice it unless you tap an untapped permanent you control. And then it has tap, add 1 mana of any color. Overall, this mana is very great. It's a tap land that doesn't even fix you into 2 colors, but it fixes you into any of the colors that you're trying to play. And main thing that I want to see if you're playing this is you better tap some kind of enchantment, you better tap some kind of artifact, you better tap anything that isn't a land. Because if you're playing a tap land and then eating up your other land, that's just not good. Also, even if you don't want it to stick around, playing it and sacrificing it is a landfall trigger, so just keeping all these things in mind will be very beneficial. Make sure that you're never tapping 2 lands to play this though, because that's like paying a mana for a land. Not a good idea, but definitely add this if you're trying to splash other colors. That is it for my Edge of Eternities common guide. Hope you guys enjoyed my picks. If you have any questions, concerns, comments, even suggestions of your own, leave them down in the comments, and I will respond to every single one and take your guys' considerations and everything seriously. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you guys all have a great day.